Hola world, it is Monday and time for the Father's Day weekend recap.
It is Father's Day and I am headed to see my dad. I have not been to visit him in a long time.
Even on a Father's Day weekend, I still make time for Mom. She and I have a Friday date to hike Pinnacle, and so that's how I started the weekend. Spending time with her. Which has always been my life anyway. She has been my life. My dad wasn't there really to raise me, you know. He did a lot of drugs and drinking and just wasn't ready to be a father. You know, when he had us, my brother and I. Later in life, he was a little more involved. Once we got to old enough to where we weren't necessarily a burden, he started, you know, I spent more time with him. He taught me a lot, taught me construction. That's what he did. He was a carpenter. And so I would work with him on the weekends, and I cherish that. I feel like this treehouse is in large part thanks to what he taught me. And he supported me a lot in ways that most other people didn't. You know, wanting to become a professional skateboarder, it seems like a flaky dream. You know, it's not very realistic. But he wasn't based in realism. His life was that, you know, chase down all the lofty clouds of dreams. And so I think he really supported me there. He wanted to see me do something with it. He kept all of my skate trophies at his house. He was excited for me. So much so that the next contest I went to, I didn't even tell him about it. He wasn't a big part of my life, but he showed up. He was there. He was there before I was there, with lawn chairs and a camera, and he camped out and took photos of my contest. And that'll always stick with me, that he supported me. But not really any other way than that. He didn't pay child support, and he wasn't really around all that much. So when I moved to California, I didn't think about him that much.
And what's wild is that I'm closer to him now than I've been in the last 20 years. I mean, I live so close that I never come to visit.
I had just gotten settled in. I had just gotten a place of my own. I got a job and starting to make a life for myself. My mom calls and she says I should sit down. And I thought that was silly. You know, I was like, you don't tell me to sit down, and nothing you can say is, it was dramatic. And so just tell me what you have to say. And so she says, your father's been killed. And it knocked the feet out from under me in ways that I couldn't imagine words could do. I fell apart. And that was a really tragic thing for me. In fact, that was the first time I ever got on an airplane, was to fly home for his funeral. The church that my family went to, and I was poor, so I didn't have the money to pay for that plane ticket. But the church that my family went to raised the money for me to come home. And I'll be forever thankful for that. That was huge. Because I don't know how I would have been able to do it otherwise. I didn't have credit cards back then. I had no other means to make that happen. And it was hard. It was a lot harder than I would have imagined it would be. But I have to say that helped me. When I went to California, it was much harder than I thought it would be to become a professional skateboarder. Everybody, you know, when you look at a magazine and you think, okay, these guys are good. You know, you watch a video and you think, okay, yeah, these guys are really good. They're better than me. And that's who you aspire to be. But you go, that's just this select few people. You know, these are the people that I have to catch up with, that I have to compete with. And you get to California, and everybody is that good. And so much so that you have to wonder, like, how is everyone not sponsored? And a lot of them are. And they don't necessarily make it in the magazines, but they get free product. And so it was discouraging. I mean, I had built my whole life up to follow this dream, going to California and becoming a professional skateboarder. And when you get there, I mean, it was almost instantly dash. How could I ever compete with these guys? So I tried to do the only thing I knew how to do, which was be crazier than them.
Okay, when I heard Daniel Haney was coming out to Australia to get some skating done, I wasn't expecting half of what I saw. The guy is insane. For example, today I watched a guy jump off like 16 stairs over a rail and absolutely kill himself about 4 times. The guy just keeps throwing himself down, down, down. It just never ends. 20 minutes later we're at a big handrail and the guy is just going for it again. It took like a bad rolled ankle or a fractured ankle to stop the guy. The guy is just insane. Daniel, mate, you're a champion. Look after your body. I've never seen anyone else in this world do what you do to your body, mate. It's just crazy. I just wish you all the best.
I'm good at being fearless. But even then, some of the things that people were skating out there terrified me. I went to this one handrail and totally bitched out. I got there and I just could not even make myself try it. It was so scary. Cut to 3 weeks later, I come home after my dad's funeral, come back to California, and I didn't have anything. It was gone. It was replaced by this anger, I didn't care anymore. And so I went back to that handrail and without a second thought went for it. And that, I honestly believe, his passing carried me through. It made it possible for me to get to that next level that I may not have gotten on my own. I might have just given up. Honestly, as much as I hate to think that that would have happened to me, that I would give up, maybe I would have. But either way, he lost his life, but gave me a new one in his passing. And I carried that with me through skateboarding, through the whole thing. And you know, that helped me to see a positive out of losing him. But it was still very difficult. I'm older now than he was when he died. And so at this point in my life, it's hard, you know, to move forward. Where do I go from here? Who do I look up to? Now, I had several stepfathers and actually got kicked out of the house for fighting with one of them. And that started me on the road to being homeless and then moving to California and so on. But it wasn't until much later in life that my mom married Dallas, the man who she's with now, and the man I honestly consider to be my father. Because he has supported me. He has been there for me. Not just in accepting my dreams. Even now, you know, I want to do something very similar again. I want to cast away everything I own and travel the world, you know, seeking out yoga. And if you tell somebody that, especially a 40-year-old, they're going to tell you to get a job, man, get a career, do something with your life. That's not what you do. But he doesn't do that. He has supported me. And even before that, he helped me build my first skate shop. Honestly, like, he was there when I wasn't there. I had to take a trip to California at one point, and while I was gone, he painted the whole back room. Then when I moved to a bigger location and we had to build the skate shop, we had to build the photo studio, he was there. And it was good to have someone that had the kind of knowledge that he had in carpentry. My dad wasn't there anymore to pick up where he had left off, to show me the next level of things to do. If I were to start from scratch on my own, how do you build a house? Dallas was there, and he showed me. And not only showed me, he broke his back helping me. And so this Father's Day,
Hell yeah. If that motherfucker builds a wall, we're gonna have an issue. We're gonna be smuggling Coronas through the tunnels. He's not gonna.
I mean, I went to see my dad. I went out there and kind of said goodbye. Before, when I turned pro, I went out there and took him my first skateboard and left it at the grave site. And it stayed there for a long time. I was really surprised how long it stayed there. And so this time, when I went out there, I did what I'm doing now, which is yoga. And that might seem totally disrespectful, you know, on one hand, but that's what I do. That's what I am, and so I wanted to share that with him. Now, the wisdom and guidance I seek is from yoga, and I am prepared to give up everything I have and know in order to find it. You're welcome to join me on my journey. Bye!